plaintiff, Marquita Wallace, dated the defendant, and they lived together. Marquita claims one day she came home to find that the defendant had kicked down their door. So she called the police because she was scared of the defendant's temper. She's suing him today for an illegal eviction and emotional distress. Defendant Harvis Robinson admits that he kicked down a door to get into his apartment, but says it was only because he was locked out. Harvis claims after that, Marquita threw all of his stuff out of their window, and he has the video to prove it. He's countersuing for a stereo system, an Xbox, and emotional distress.
Start with you.
I was actually on your show in 2004 with my sister, suing her over property as well.
You keep mess going.
She is my witness here today.
Did you give her her property?
Now she's the supporting sister.
Did she give you her property? Your property?
I won the case.
All right, go ahead.
I met Harvis 2 years ago through a mutual friend. We dated probably for about a month or so, and he went away to prison. We lost contact. A few months later, he contacted me back and we rekindled our relationship. We started dating and we both were in tough situations at that time. I had just lost my apartment due to someone fighting the police on my property, so I was evicted. He was just coming out of a relationship with his son's mother. So he told me that we could find an apartment together and we're gonna do this and build on this and all this and all that. Well, it took us a year and a half to do that. In the meanwhile, he had me staying at relatives' house, sleeping on floors, on deflated air mattresses.
What was the relationship like? You admit both of y'all were on hard times.
Both were on
hard
hard times. We both were working. The relationship was like bittersweet because I wasn't comfortable in the settings that he were putting me in, but I wanted to be there for him and build with him. Like
you all couldn't do any better, though.
Not at that time.
Okay, well, if the relationship is all right, you all can't do any better, you grind it out together.
And that's what I did.
All right, so ultimately you got a place together because you're suing him over an illegal eviction.
Correct.
When did you all get a place?
In June of 2015.
Did they fix that air mattress?
No, it was actually 3 deflated air mattresses stacked on.
Just make it look comfortable.
All right, that's really grinding. I tell you what, my wife will tell you now. When we met and she was visiting with me, I had one let-out couch bed.
Oh, hide a bed?
Huh?
Hide a bed?
Yeah, no, not even a hide a bed because it didn't have the steel things on it. It just flopped out. And I, because I was living there by myself, I had roaches. And my wife, she used to come over there. She was a middle-class young lady.
And that's me, sir. It was very uncomfortable,
she
but
stuck it out
I
with
stuck
me,
it
though.
out with him, but enough.
Yeah, I was in a subsidized housing project near the college that I went to, near Eastern Michigan University in Ypsilanti. Subsidized housing. My mother died, didn't have any place to live. I couldn't even afford to stay in the dormitories on campus. So I went and got a place in the subsidized housing projects off campus. I was used to the projects anyway. But the ones my mama had me in didn't have roaches. But this one had roaches, so I didn't have time to get rid of the roaches. I was going to school and working. I didn't have no time to get rid of them.
Right.
She'd come over there, she just have to deal with it, right?
Right.
All right, and she should have dealt with your stuff, see? You don't know what he could have become.
I gave him a chance, and it became not for me.
What happened? Why'd you all break up?
He just wasn't reliable. He procrastinated. I didn't trust him.
All right. Let me allow him to speak. Sir?
Well, sir, when I first met Miss Wallace, everything was great. I was going through tough times with my son's mother. And we had basically the same similarities of like in bad relationships, and we was homeless basically for not that long as she's portraying to say, but we start from being homeless to an efficiency. She wasn't comfortable with efficiency, but that's the only thing I can afford because of my past rental history with my ex. So I had to do something. Instead of being homeless, I get this efficiency. She wasn't comfortable within the 4 months in the efficiency. So I told her to find a 2-bedroom, then I'll pay the rent deposit, we can move in the 2-bedroom. So we moved in, everything was cool. 4 or 5 months later, she wanted to still party, spend the night out, drinking. It was just like too much. I'm out busting my butt, going to work, coming home, I had high blood pressure.
Your Honor, he was there with me
Hold
partying.
on, ma'am, before you run his blood pressure up. Go ahead.
Right.
Go
Right.
ahead, sir.
I had high blood pressure, so sometimes I can't turn up like she can. But as well, it just seemed like I can't make her happy
Why do you think you all broke up?
because of I'm such an old man. I'm too laid back. But the final straw with me is when she texts me and says she gonna have another man in my house where we pay rent at.
I never said that.
What made her say that? I mean, what led up to that?
Because she asked me, when I was at work, and she said, I'm tired of your old miserable butt. I don't want to be there no more. I'd rather leave. So what now? You gonna put me out? I said, you know what? If you want to be in the streets, stay in the streets. I'm cool with it. I'm done with it.
All right. Let me hear from you on that, and then we'll get to the illegal eviction. What do you want to say about what he just said?
I wasn't.
Did you threaten to bring another man home into his
No,
home?
sir. I told him that I was going to have company, and he took it upon himself to put the man in that.
Who was the company?
A friend.
Male?
Yes.
All right.
But I brought other male friends there with him present, and
This
he didn't
was
have a
after
problem.
the club, ma'am.
No, that wasn't. He's trying to portray like I was a turn-up person, but I partied with him over his family house. His family threw parties every day.
All right. Tell me about the eviction you're suing for.
Okay. As far as the eviction, September the 5th was the night that I just was fed up, and I told him like I'm.
That's
just
not
fed
the
up.
night you was bringing the man home, was it?
No, that was after the fact that I told him.
Go ahead.
I was fed up with what we were going through. It wasn't because he was old and all that. Like, he was going through stuff with his son's mother, and he was stressing, and he was miserable, and it just was a dark cloud coming over my head with that. I tried to help him the best way I could, but he wouldn't allow me to help him. He didn't allow me to do anything as far as support him or anything through that trying time, but he also, like, took it out on me. What his baby mother was putting to him, he took it out on me.
Okay.
So I got fed up with it, and I told him, like, either you gonna have to go or I'm gonna go. Like, you know what you want to do. Like, I can't be in this situation anymore. Like, I've gave you enough time, chances to get everything. Like, I don't trust you no more or nothing. And he just got irate at that time. Like, I have text messages that show from the beginning. Like, this is when the text messages of when I said I'm going to have company over or whatever, like, I was just trying to get up under his skin. I wasn't going to have nobody there, but he...
Yeah, well, you sure did. You get under any man's skin.
Yeah, but he made the situation hostile.
How did it become an illegal eviction? What occurred?
When that night I left, I went with my sister. He was there. When I came back, the door was kicked off the hinges.
He lived there, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he lived there,
So
and he had a key, and I had a key,
why would he kick it
too.
off? Do you know? What is your
He
understanding?
left the key under a mat for someone else, and I got the key because we lived in a project.
True.
And he left the key under the mat in a highway, which we never did. So that's like that's bait. So I took the key and I told him I had the key. He said, "Don't worry about it. I'll get in," which I have text messages, and he kicked the door in. So when I got there, the door was kicked off. He wasn't there. My stuff was in there. Like, we live in a project. The doors doesn't lock to the outside of the building, so anything could have happened. At that time, I felt it was hostile, and I didn't know what was going to come next. I called the police. Waited for the police to show. They didn't show that night. So that morning, I had to get a emergency truck, movers to help me move my stuff, storage fees. I had to do everything, like, within a period of.
Why?
Like,
You thought he was going to do something to you?
Yeah, I was scared.
What made you think that?
He was irate. Like, the next morning, he pulled up when I pulled up, and I had already asked him, like, give me 30 days to get my stuff out. But it was just when you kicked the door off, and then the text messages that he were texting me.
Let me see the text, because from what I'm hearing, he kicked the door in because he didn't have a key. He knew where he had left the key. The key was gone. So, yeah, he gets upset about the key being gone, but primarily he's going in there to get inside, and you're not there, so he's not going in there to get to you. So I'm trying to understand what you thought was going to happen.
I didn't know what was going to happen. I was scared.
What he did to indicate something, what caused you to be
his
fearful?
anger and his hostility of kicking the door down, and the
you
text
weren't there when he
messages I
kicked the
received.
door down. That's my point. He kicked the door down to get in.
Right, but I didn't know that he had it in him to kick the door down, so I didn't know what else
yeah,
to come.
anybody has it in it. When they're locked out and someone steals
He
their
locked
key,
himself out, Your Honor.
and he put the key under there and you stole it.
How did I steal it?
You
if
just
I
said you took it from under the mat. You remember?
Yes.
Didn't you say that?
How did
He
I-
left it under there, right?
Yes, for
he
someone
didn't leave it
else.
for you.
He left it for
Right,
someone else. but
right.
that's
He didn't
on-
leave it for you. You took it. And that's why I kicked the door in, because the key he left was stolen.
He didn't have
Just like
to.
you
He could've called
threatened to
me.
bring a man home.
I didn't threaten him.
Yes, you did. You
I said
admitted
I was
that.
gonna
You
have
said I was trying to get
conflict.
under his skin.
Your Honor, this
You
was
got under it
after-
real well. You took his key, and that's why he kicked in his door. If I want my things and somebody took the key and I want it that night, I'm kicking in the door too. Your counterclaim for $3,500 is for what?
Because after I got home, I had my brother to come and get me because the car that I bought, I was going to bring it home, and he was supposed to follow me. But we parked the car around the corner, and when I jumped in the car with him, riding up to the house, all my stuff been thrown out the window. And she outside moving her stuff. Her sister was out there too. They both was turning up on me. So I basically called the police. The police took forever to come. When they came, police officer told me, "Sir, you're never gonna win arguing with a woman. Sit
That
back,
is not-
chill out, and let her get her things and go. And then you go in there." I said, "But what is she
Where are
taking
your things now?
I don't even know.
All right.
Can I say something?
Yeah. State your name.
My name is Terry Wallace. I'm her sister. I was there through the whole situation. The reason why the door was kicked in,
I heard that. You want to say anything else?
yes.
What?
He basically lying.
All right. Thank you. Have a seat. All right. You know anything about his items, ma'am?
No, sir, I do not have his items.
I have
All
a
right.
video
And you have a video of her doing what?
throwing my stuff out. All my stuff is
All
out.
right. Let's
in the-
see it. You said you didn't know anything about it, ma'am.
All this. She just threw all my stuff out. My name on the lease and everything. They threw all my stuff out of my own crib. They breaking and entering.
What happened to his things? You threw them out?
I put his stuff out.
All right. Judgment
So he
for the
have his stuff.
counterclaimant. Have a good day. Your claim is dismissed.
how do I
Yours is
have his-
granted. Bye-bye.
You always gonna be a bum. That's all you had was a blow-up mattress.
And them clothes. What
Hey, my current situation, I got a
Still a
roof over
bum.
my head.
You always gonna be a bum. You're broke.